Hodder, past president of the RIBA, president up until yesterday. And yes, I was the first winner of the Sterling Prize back in 1996.
What was the building?
It was for an arts faculty of Arts and Design Technology at the University of Salford in the Northwest.
Still there?
The building is still there, weathering gracefully.
Same use?
Oh, absolutely, yes, it's the same use. And always very interesting to go back. This year we had an international conference at the RIBA. A group of Sri Lankan architects came over, wanted to see the first ever Sterling Prize winning building. I hadn't been back there for 10 years. Very interesting to go back and see it.
If you were designing it today, would it be different?
Very difficult to say. The arrangement of the building, absolutely right. You know, I think it's worked very well. 20 years on, it's still very fresh. Of course, architectural styles move on. There are probably aspects of it in detailed design terms that I would probably change. But in terms of the way the building has worked, the way in which the building works for the faculty, no, I wouldn't change it.
We saw a very interesting film today on Brasilia. Local architects visited there, came back with a film. And of course, buildings there from 1960s or a bit earlier, they're preserved now, they mustn't be altered and changed. Now, they were very futuristic buildings then, and they are still futuristic buildings now, but one day they will look dated. What should happen to buildings like that, which are quite revolutionary in their way, but time is not kind to buildings?
I'm not sure the buildings in Brasilia will look dated. I was there just before Christmas and spent the Commission for Architecture and Urbanism showed me around Brasilia. Spent a whole day seeing the work of Oscar Niemeyer, you know, and probably some of his later work, yes, maybe dated, but some of the presidential palace, the hotel that I stayed in, they really have a beautiful timeless quality, and that's something that, you know, really we need to strive for as architects, a timelessness, architecture that doesn't date.
The constable here just explained about this building. He'd like a larger town hall because he's got a huge population for the size of this town hall. But old buildings like this have a certain charm, don't they? They are, I mean, it's just a hall, isn't it? It's just a room. That's all it is, just a room.
Yeah.
Nothing very architectural about it, but it has a charm about it for some reason.
But yes, sometimes, irrespective of the period of the architecture, something simple, beautiful space, beautifully lit, and that sort of timelessness, you know, that it doesn't have to be the sort of iconic architecture. Something very simple, beautiful, a space. The experience of architecture, you know, I talk a great deal about the experience of architecture. When you come inside and you see a space like this, that's really quite important, you know, and I don't think it matters what age the architecture is. But what is important, I think, is that architecture should speak of the period in which we're living. And this, yes, captures a period in which this was conceived, but just in the same way as the Sterling Prize, and hopefully my building from 1996 captures the spirit of that time.
I'm still a great fan of the old function dictates form idea. It doesn't always work out in that way, but if a building doesn't work, really, houses that aren't properly insulated, houses that aren't pleasant to be in, they don't really deserve prizes, do they? We can't go on aesthetics. If they look pretty, that's not enough, is it?
No, of course it's not. I mean, successful architecture is not just about the way in which a building appears. You know, I talk a great deal about the experience of buildings, as I just did. Buildings have to work for the user, and buildings and the value of buildings are not more than just about the way in which they look. So a beautifully designed school can improve education standards. A beautiful health centre can improve recovery times. A great workplace can improve efficiency of the workplace. It's not always about the way in which a building looks.
One of my great campaign issues over the years is about accessibility. Buildings must be suitable for everybody, universal use. A lot of buildings produced today are still not very user-friendly from a usability point of view. I presume the rules in Sterling of competition have changed, modified over the years to accommodate these sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've seen, even in 20 years, a sort of a huge development in the thinking about sustainability, inclusivity, accessibility, and it's actually quite interesting to think about how, in such a relative short period of time, how attitudes have changed towards that. But yes, those aspects are very much a part of the assessment of the Sterling Prize. Sterling Prize shortlisted buildings.
Would a building not get a prize if it didn't satisfy things on things like accessibility?
I think very much so, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I shall watch with interest to see what happens tomorrow.
October the 15th.
Nice to speak to you. Bye.